what's up guys, Benny here and welcome to the top 10 best loadouts for Call of Duty Warzone in Season 2. Please also go ahead and share your own loadouts down in the comments below, and if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button as 72% of you watching are not subscribed to the channel and you'll get better at Warzone, I promise. But let's first of all hop into my first loadout, which is my FFAR Kar 98K setup, which I think is still one of the best all-round classes in the entire game right now. One thing as well to take into account is that attachments are now labeled correctly. They actually do, according to Raven, what they say they do, though the agency suppressor did get an unintentional nerf, which is being hot fixed, so don't worry about that. The agency suppressor will be getting that bullet velocity increase that it should, rather than the 30% decrease that it currently has at the start of Season 2. But the first attachment you're going to want on the FFAR is that agency suppressor, because it gives you that sound suppression, vertical recoil control, and also the increase in damage range. Though it's not listed right now, it will be, so don't worry about that. The agency suppressor, hands down, the best attachment to use for any Cold War weapon. The barrel that you're going to want to go for is the 21.2 Ranger barrel. As you can see, it's a bullet velocity, but that gives you the most bullet velocity possible. Task Forces gives you that vertical and horizontal recoil control, which makes it pretty hard to control. And as you're using the far and short to medium range, Ranger barrel is the best one. Underbarrel, the bruiser grip has been fixed now, so you want to go for the field agent grip for that horizontal and vertical recoil control. The ammo you go for is the Salvo 50 round fast mag, and then I go for the Raider stock for ADS firing move speed, aim walking movement speed, and sprint to fire time. Just makes it really good at close range and when you're kind of fighting in those short to medium range distances, which is what this loadout is designed for. Also, how good does this Dead Ops Arcade reactive camo looks in game as well? It's incredible. The Kar 90K, easily my favorite sniper in the game right now. It's so much fun to use. Monolithic suppressor, 27.6 barrel, the tac laser, the optic is the sniper scope. Then on this one, I have the precision comb. Don't use the sport comb for faster aim down sight speed. It's really not worth it. That precision comb is just going to mean that you hit your target dead center when you go to scope in. And the best reticle, in my opinion, is the pinpoint one. Just makes it really easy to track. And when someone's moving, you see the circle that you could see in the middle. If you just line them up with that edge of that circle, normally you'll hit the headshot at like 150 meters away, which is kind of what I found. Really, really nice sniper scope. Definitely use it. And that's the first loadout with EOD, Overkill, Amped, C4, and a heartbeat sensor. And those perks, lethals, and tacticals I pretty much use throughout. However, you can change the tactical for a stun grenade, which I normally do with my final class, which is my ghost class, which is because I'm like, most other people have ghost now. Let's switch up to the stun. Now, along with the FAR, I honestly think the M16 and the next gun that we're going to check out are two of the best guns to use in Warzone right now. The M16 is a beast. It can two-burst opponents at mid-range if you land all the shots on the burst. It's insane. You're going to want that agency silencer on there. The best barrel is then the 15.9 strike team for that faster fire rate, so you can get your highest damage per second. So that's the one that I personally go for. Then the underbarrel, I go for the field agent foregrip. The ammo, you want that Salvo 60 round fast mag, and then the optic is the axial arms 3 times. And on this, I just use the default reticle. It's probably the best one. Not the biggest fan of the Cold War reticles on the 2 times and 3 times scopes, but you know, that's the best one you've got. The secondary weapon is the Mac10, best SMG in the game right now. You go have the agency suppressor on that. You then want the 5.9 task force barrel, then the field agent grip. The ammo, I go for the Salvo, the 53 round drum. One of the big things I use as well is True Game Data. He's done an amazing job in kind of identifying those small macro changes, like what's the fastest ADS and stuff like that. He does a really good job on that. So big shout out to him. And then on the stock, we go for the Raider stock. Now there is another option. If you want high mobility, you can drop the Raider stock and go for no stock if you kind of use a bit more hip fire and stuff. That gives you the highest mobility. Personally, I like having that Raider stock so I can ADS round a corner. Personally, one of my favorite things to do in Warzone. And then the perk stuff are the same thing. The third class we've got is the AUG. The AUG has been buffed at the start of Season 2 to kind of match up with the M16. It's had its base bullet velocity increased, so you're now not having to track your targets as much, which is huge, by the way. Muzzle, agency silencer, 18.2 strike team barrel. The underbarrel is a field agent foregrip. You then want to go for the salvo 54 round fast mag, and then the actual arms 3x scope. It's pretty much the same build as the M16, but it is insane. Like, so much fun to use at the start of season 2. And I go for that Mac10 once again with the agency suppressor, 5.9 task force, field agent grip, 53 round mag, and then the Raider stock. Brilliant, brilliant loadout. Try out the AUG and let me know what you think down in the comments below. Then if we move on to my 4th loadout, we have the brand new FFAR. Now, a big thing to know about the FFAR, it's very much like the FAR. It's a short to medium range assault rifle. The recoil is too high for those long range engagements, even though this gun was originally designed according to Treyarch and Raven to be long range assault rifle. It's just got too much kick to do that, though it does have a very fast time to kill up close because of that very high fire rate and high damage output. The muzzle, you go the agency suppressor. The barrel, you want the ultralight barrel. This is going to give you the highest bullet velocity possible out of all the weapons, so you're going to be able to land all your shots really quickly and get a very fast time to kill. The underbarrel, field agent grip to help control that recoil. The ammo, you go for that. I personally go for the 60 round mag, partially because it looks cool because of the reactive camo, all right? And it doesn't give you as much penalty as the fast mag does. So, you know, I go for that personally. Then I go for the KGP pad. And that is the build I have. Now, if you do not like the iron sights on this weapon, you can get rid of the KGB pad and then use like the Microflex LED. However, this is the best overall build for it, if I'm being completely honest with you. Then I've got that Kar98K on there, which is going to be monolithic suppressor, 27.6 barrel, tac laser, sniper scope once again, the precision comb on there, and then also that pinpoint reticle. So get into the habit of building these, and on the Modern Warfare ones, you can save the variants so you can put them on quicker, which is a good thing to do. The next one is my LC10 setup with the HDR sniper. The HDR is still overlooked massively by a lot of people because it was one of the first snipers and was the original meta sniper in Warzone. It is still ridiculously good and should not be overlooked. A lot of people now go for the faster fire rate snipers like the Kar98K, and like the X50 sort of slipped off, and also now the LW3 Tundra. But the HDR still has its place in Warzone. You want the monolithic suppressor on there. You then want the 26.9 HDR Pro barrel, the tac laser. You do not need an optic on this, but what you do want to do is go for the FTAC Stalker Scout to increase that ADS time. And then something I have been doing recently, have FMJ on this. The base sniper scope is great. Then you can go and change that reticle and put the pinpoint one on there. It's a great all-round sniper. Definitely don't overlook it. Now, the LC10 is definitely a weapon that I don't think is top of the meta. However, it does pair well with a sniper because it operates a bit like an MP7, if I'm being honest. So you got to have that agency suppressor on there. The barrel you're going to go for is the 13.9 task force. You then go for the field agent grip once again. The ammo, you go for that Stagnag 55 round mag. And then we finally put the Raider stock, which I don't have on here right now, but the SSAS combat stock is also great. If you don't like the iron sight, once again, you can change the combat stock, very similar to what we do with a lot of our SMGs from Cold War, and put up an optic on there. But that is a great build for the LC10. It's quite fun to use and can get you a lot of kills. It's no recoil whatsoever, so a really easy weapon to use. Probably, like, it'll be interesting to see how it, I think it needs a little bit of a buff personally. But then we move on to our DMR14 MP5 Cold War classer. DMR14, not as overpowered as it used to be. However, it is still very, very good, and probably in the top 3 guns in Warzone right now. If you agree or disagree, let me know in the comments. But the agency silencer on there, you still want that 17.1 cavalry lancer for effective damage range, bullet velocity, and also strafe speed. Helps in a gunfight. A lot of people underestimate how important having good strafe speed is, because when you're in a gunfight moving left to right, it's going to make it harder for the other person to hit you. Really useful attachment. Field agent foregrip, the base 30 round mag, and then the actual arms 3x scope. And remember, I'm using that base reticle on there. It's the best one, so you don't need to worry about changing your reticle. Now, the Cold War MP5, I think, is heavily slept on by a lot of people, and this build especially. It's got the agency suppressor, the 9.5 task force barrel, the field agent grip, the 50 round drum, the Microflex LED, and then I personally like using the star reticle. It's really, really clean, and this build is so much fun to use. If you're getting bored of using the Mac10, give this a go. Really, really fun to use. Now, if we move on to our next loadout, we have the CR56 MP5 loadout, which I think is the OG Modern Warfare setup that everyone loves, right? If you're not using Cold War weapons, which right now, at the start of Season 2, I wouldn't blame you after the agency suppressor nerf, but you want that, then you want the Zodiac barrel on there. The underbarrel is going to be the Commando foregrip. If you struggle the recoil, you can go ahead and use the Ranger grip, and it's a little bit easier to control. Personally, I would rather use the Commando foregrip. Then we have the 45 round mag, and then the VLK 3x scope. Whenever you use a VLK scope, whether it's with a Kilo, M13, M4, definitely make sure you unlock the T-pose reticle. It is so clean and so much better than the default. You're just going to find yourself winning more gunfights like that. So that is the class setup you want for the CR56. And then on the MP5, you go for the integral monolithic suppressor. You go for the Merc foregrip. You go for the 45 round mag. You go for the stippled. You don't go for the stipple grip tape. You go for the FTAC collapsible, and then you go for the 5 NW laser. Great all-round build, great for hip fire, great for ADS. It's been slept on. Ever since the Cold War SMGs got integrated into the game, people just don't use this anymore. It's still easily up there with those guns. So don't underestimate that. And then I use stun grenades when I'm heavily pushing with an SMG. Now, if we move on to our next class, we've got the Grau Bullfrog. Now, the Grau, one of the best long-range assault rifles in the game. Monolithic suppressor on there. The Archangel barrel, one of the cleanest iron sights out there. Then you want the Commando foregrip, 60-round mag. Then we don't use an optic because we've got that really clean iron sight. We go ahead and put the TAC laser on there for the fastest aim down sight speed possible. Amazing, amazing weapon. I actually really miss the Grau meta back in the day. And the Bullfrog, another amazing SMG from in the Black Ops Cold War weapons, which not enough people use. You want the Grau suppressor on there. You then want the 7.4 Task Force barrel. You then want the Spetsnaz grip. Then we go for the 65 round mag, which is what I personally go for. Then you can go for the KGB skeletal stock. Pretty similar build to most of the other SMGs, and there's a lot of fun to use if you want something different. The iron sight on there is really clean as well. Now, if we move on to our 9th class, we've then got the Bruen. The Bruen, once again, was a meta weapon in like Season 4, I believe it was. It hits hard. And I feel like since it got the recoil nerf, even though its actual damage output is still one of the highest in the game, no one wants to use it anymore. The Commando foregrip, still great, though what you have, that kind of counters it, because before you didn't have to have the Commando on it, and you could just go for the TAC laser with the VLK, and it was easily controllable. So this was the OG build back in the day. Now, just to counter the nerf that it receives, you just drop the TAC laser off, put the Commando foregrip, and it's still as good as it was. Just a little bit slow on the ADS. Now, then we've got the Mac10 with that, which is what we saw earlier. Agency suppressor, 5.9 task force, field agent grip, then the 53 round drum mag, and then the Raider stock. And that's a great loadout to use. And then finally, this is always my utility class, which I have for Ghost, so I can quickly grab it whenever I go to my second loadout, or if it's late game. Have the RPG on there for a reason. A lot of people are rocking vehicles now. They're always trying to get in the big Berthas or the trucks or the helicopters. I get a lot of kills because I've got the Black Ops Cold War RPG. Don't underestimate it, and definitely give it a go. And then we got that FFAR that we saw earlier. Agency suppressor, 21.2 range barrel, field agent grip, 50 round fast mag, and the Raider stock. And then we turn this on, get the stun grenades, because by the time you get your Ghost loadout, you need those stuns. But overall, those are my top 10 best loadouts right now. Let me know yours down in the comments below. Subscribe if you're new, and I hope you found this useful, and I'll see you next time.